Okay, here we go. This is Algebra 2, Lesson 2.3 on finding slope and rate of change. So let's start with getting down this definition of slope. So slope is denoted by the variable m, and it is a non-vertical line that is the ratio of the vertical change, or the rise, to the horizontal change, or the run. Okay, you guys have probably seen, looking at 2 points on a graph and you kind of just count up and over. That's the easy way to find your slope. You just use your rise over run. But if we don't have a graph that we can count, or our points are too far apart that it doesn't kind of make logical sense to use a graph, we need a formula. And we have that here. So we can find the slope, or our m value, by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so we're looking at the change in the y's over the change in the x's. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples here. I've got the formula written out here, and I've got some points. So I really want you to get into the habit of labeling these. So I have, an ordered pair is just an x and a y, right? So let's label this one, being the first, as x1, y1, and the second set of points is x2, y2. All right, now I can just follow the formula. Okay, so that's y2 is -4 minus y1 is 5 over x2 is -2 minus x1 is 4. So now I can go ahead and simplify this here. We have 4 minus 5, that is -9, over -2 minus 4, which is -6. Okay, so very important to recognize, if we have a negative over a negative, that is going to be positive. We should definitely reduce this fraction. They're both divisible by 3, so we can divide the top by 3 and get 3, and the bottom by 3 and get 2. And again, a negative over a negative is a positive. So the slope here is 3 over 2. And because it is positive, this is going to rise. Okay? All right, let's look at number 2. Okay, again, let's label these points x1, y1, and x2, y2. So I get the changes of y on top, so that's going to be 3 minus 5, right? y2 minus y1, and x2 minus x1 is going to be 10 minus 4. 3 minus 5 is -2. 10 minus 4 is 6. Go ahead and reduce this fraction. We have -1/3. Okay, and because this is negative, that means this is going to be a slope going downwards. Okay, so this is going to fall. All right, moving on. Number 3. Again, get into the habit of labeling these x1, y1, x2, y2, and then we're just plugging it into the formula. All right, 10 minus 8 over 4 minus 4, and we get 2 over 0. This should make our heads puzzled a little bit. We cannot divide by 0. If you try to do that, you are going to get undefined on your calculator, because we cannot divide by 0. Okay? This is going to produce a vertical line. Okay, if I have my x and y axes, a vertical line like this, vertical lines are undefined. Let's write that off to the side here. Let's see, vertical lines are undefined. or their slopes are undefined. Okay? All right, last one I think we'll do for today is this one here. Let's go ahead and label these points, x1, y1, and x2, y2. Go ahead and follow the formula. That's -2 minus, -2 again. Well, let's make sure we recognize we've got the formula tells us to subtract, so make sure if we have minusing a negative, we put this in parentheses. That way, it reminds ourselves we have to change those signs. All right, and then it's over x2, which is -3, minus 6. All right, so let's see here. We have -2 plus a negative, so I'm going to change this sign, change all the signs in between those grouping symbols. So I get -2 plus 2, which is going to be 0, over a -9. Now we can't divide by 0, but we can do 0 divided by 9. That is just going to equal 0. And a slope of 0 is just that, just as it sounds. There just is no slope. Okay, think about a slope like you go skiing, right? Wouldn't be very fun to ski on flat ground. Okay, this would have a horizontal line lines have a slope of 0. Slope equals 0. Okay, so that's the distinction between the two. 0, if you are dividing by 0, that's undefined. That is a vertical line. If you get 0 as the answer, like 0 divided by 9, the answer is 0. That is a horizontal slope. All right, and I think we will end here for today. Why don't you guys give practice problems 1 through 9 a shot for today?